Well, I decided to distract myself by refinishing this ballast resistor. Um, this paint is literally just flaking off on its own. Now, I probably had in an earlier video the fact that I used two different paints and they reacted with each other. So I'm gonna redo this. So this is how it's connected. This red wire connects from the ballast resistor terminal here over to here. I'm gonna just take these off. I think if I get these two screws out, I think the whole thing will just lift off. So let me get to that and show you what I got to refinish it. I'll show that in a minute. All right, as I mentioned, so we're going small today. So let me start off where I left off. And I'll get to some of these other little projects. This is your ballast resistor. And I had to do a repair on this over here, which went really nicely. That was in another video. But you can see the paint is starting to flake off, and that's how delicate this is. Now, I don't know if you can see, but this is where all the ballast resistors had an ink stamp. The ink stamp, I'm not getting good focus on it, and I'll tell you, that ink stamp, you can only see it from an angle. It's so faint now. But I do have to get the orientation, and I can't see it through my camera here. I'm going to have to, you can just barely see it, I think, from that angle. But anyway, I'm going to refinish this. So this little nut and post, you can, I think you get to it from this screw here. I've done this a number of times. I never remember exactly, but you take this off, the whole thing comes apart. Then I'll take the old paint off with an appropriate remover. Probably a gel type paint remover. You can also take these little nuts out here, which I will do. That'll give me some more, just it preserves some of the detail. So once I do that, then so what I used to do, I used to make my own paint out of acrylics, which are basically over there. But a friend of mine who's a Ferrari owner has this paint that was actually made up as for Magneti Marelli red coil. These components are shared with Ferraris. So I'm lucky enough, my friend lent me, got enough paint here to do like 650 of these. So if you ever need yours repainted, just send it over to my friend Steven. He'll maybe lend you a little bit of this paint. So it's old, this paint, but I think it's still good. So, and then, you know, Ferrari owners are really, they're crazy people. He also has a stamper and yellow paint, which I actually used this before doing my old 68 Duetto, 68 Roundtail. Anyway, this is the stamper. It says made in Italy, a couple of serial numbers, and it's the exact same stamp that fits on here. This is here way. Oh, that's what it says. And you just stamp it right in there like that, and you get yourself a nice reproduction stamp. So that's that little project. I'll be doing that today. And where am I? Oh, there's my hardware. Okay, now remember the clutch master? What I did was I went on Amazon and I bought this Loctite 545 thread sealant. It's impervious to, remember it was leaking in here. Now I put a Teflon tape in there, and it stopped the leak. But I'm not sure if the Teflon tape is a good alternative long-term with long-term exposure to brake fluid. So this stuff is the I got this on Amazon, by the way, for 16 bucks, I think, which is a fairly small amount, but you know, it's like a half of an ounce, a quarter ounce. What is this? Tenth of an ounce? Oh, 1.34 fluid ounces? Oh, 0.034. It's a third of an ounce. So I'm going to take this off, use that thread locker on there. You probably have to let it dry to set, I don't know, but I'm not going to be reinstalling this until next week, so I have to use my custom-made wrench to take this off, and I'll take the tape out and I'll put thread locker on there, and we should be good to go. Now the other thing I did was these are the original Golden Lodge spark plugs to the car, and I took them out because I replaced them with NGKs. Specifically the BR7ES. The R means it's a resistor plug. And this is what they look like. This is one of the plugs that's recommended commonly on the Alfa bulletin boards. So, you know, NGKs are good plugs. I like them. And it's a resistor plug. It's got the same thread depth, which is very important. Actually, you can see it's let me line that up. It's almost exact, the thread depth. Got these on Amazon also. I think these were $26 with tax. And what I'm going to do is put these Golden Lodges, preserve them for posterity. If you want to buy these today, this set of plugs would probably cost you 250 bucks, some ridiculous amount of money. I've been running the car a little bit, and it's running a little bit rich. You could tell by, these were cleaned, and you could tell you got some black soot on there already, and that's only after idling. Now, of course, I could have done an Italian tune-up on it and maybe burnt this off, but see, you can see that it's a little bit of sooty. It's not horrible, but I only ran it for a little while. So I'm going to be preserving these plugs for shows and stuff and impress your Alfa friends with a set of Golden Lodge plugs. These, I think, are completely original to the car, so they got 10,000 miles on them. So I'm going to be doing this. I actually installed these. Just another note, these are set at a gap of 0.027 factory, and that factory gap is good. There's no, typically what I do is I use a feeler gauge to measure the gap, and some of them are a couple of thousandths off, so I reset them. Typically they're set a little bit too wide, but 0.027 is a good gap, and maybe 1 out of 4 or 2 out of 4 might need to be adjusted very, very slightly. So they're made to be set from the, you know, at the factory, but they don't do, I guess, a exactly precise job. Anyway, that's info on the plug itself. So I haven't lit up the car with these yet, but I will be next week when I start getting everything back together. I should be getting my brake master back next week. This is another little project that I haven't even gotten to yet, but I figured I'd show it since I'm here. This is a seat belt retainer that came off the passenger side, and this was the belt retainer that was on the driver's side. As you can see, this thing got broken off. So what I'm going to do in a later video is make a mold of this using silicone. And I'm going to I'm going to make a reproduction of this using a mold. I have plastic and I have the silicone, so I think I should be able to make a good reproduction of this. This plastic is a little flexible because obviously, you don't want it too rigid. The plastic I have, I don't know, of course, You know, if it's not perfect, I could always make a number of them, and if they break, I'll just keep reusing them. I'm not sure if I can color the plastic black. I'll try. I have black colorizers, so to speak, all different types. I can try doing that. So that's what's on the agenda for today. And I'll post a video later with the results. Just a quick update on the clutch master. Look at this pipe thread. It just completely looks like it evaporated in here. So that's further testimony that you do not want to use white pipe tape on here. I actually did use a sealant also, which I can still feel. Let me see if I can take this thing. Oh yeah. Oh, this thing really stuck on there. Holy cow. Wow, that's what did it. It was this, I used some, wow, I might not want to change this. I used some thread sealant. That worked. I think that worked. But anyway, I'm going to be cleaning all this up and using the thread locker. So let me clean this up and see where we go from there. All right, well, I got her done. The thread locker, which is a purplish colored liquid, you got to mix it, you got to shake it really well. But when you apply it to the threads, it doesn't move around. It stays on the threads. So as you saw in the picture, I put it on the threads. I also gave for some extra, sealing capability. I put it on the top and bottom of the copper seal, and then I tightened it down with my modified pipe wrench. That's a very small opening in there, and unless you have a set of thin wrenches, so what I did is I ground this down. You can see I actually ground it down before, but I ground it down even more. This pipe wrench, it'll still work as a pipe wrench. Alright, so that's it with this. We're gonna have to wait until it cures, but I'm not gonna put it back on the car for a good another 3, 4, 5 days, so I think we'll be fine there.